Have you ever felt as though you're tuned into a completely different frequency than everyone else around you? While the modern world often glorifies constant social interaction, jam-packed schedules, and the pursuit of popularity, there exists a quietly defiant type of man who doesn't follow that script, the Sigma male. In a society where one's value is frequently judged by how many people they know or how many events they attend, the Sigma male seems to operate on an entirely different plane. To the casual observer, he might come off as detached or indifferent. Some interpret his silent strength as pride, or his independence as emotional distance. But these surface-level assumptions often miss the mark entirely. What most people fail to recognize is that his solitude is not a symptom of isolation, but a conscious decision. He is not socially inept, nor is he emotionally unavailable. Instead, he exercises extreme discernment in choosing whom to let into his inner world. The Sigma male isn't looking to fill his life with noise. He's searching for depth, meaning, and authenticity. He doesn't avoid friendships because he can't connect with others, but because he refuses to dilute his energy with superficial or transactional relationships. His time, focus, and loyalty are reserved only for those who truly resonate with his values and mindset. This in-depth exploration peels back the layers of the Sigma male's mind, revealing 8 profound reasons why he often walks alone. Not because he is forced to, but because he consciously chooses to. His isolation is not a prison. It's a sanctuary he's built on purpose, brick by brick, guided by principle rather than pressure. 1. They prize independence over connection. For most individuals, friendships and social bonds serve as emotional anchors, sources of comfort, reassurance, and identity. These connections often define their place in the world, offering validation and a sense of belonging that shapes their daily lives. People gather in groups, form cliques, and lean on others for emotional support, finding strength in numbers and community. But for the Sigma male, the equation is entirely different. His foundation is not built on external relationships, but on an unshakable internal compass. Independence is not just a preference. It's his core principle. He doesn't define himself through others' opinions or social affiliations. Instead, he finds fulfillment in self-sufficiency, in crafting a life guided by his own values and ambitions. This doesn't mean he dislikes people or lacks the capacity for deep connection. On the contrary, he may have the emotional intelligence and awareness to build meaningful bonds. However, he refuses to compromise his autonomy just to maintain a relationship. He won't engage in small talk just to be polite, nor will he surround himself with others merely to avoid being alone. If a gathering, friendship, or conversation doesn't resonate with his deeper purpose, he'll respectfully decline. To outsiders, this might seem cold or antisocial. But to the Sigma, time spent alone isn't a void, it's a sanctuary. It's within the solitude that he sharpens his mind, recalibrates his path, and cultivates a deeper understanding of himself and the world. This deliberate isolation is not a symptom of disconnection. It's the space in which he becomes the most potent version of himself. For the Sigma male, solitude isn't a prison to escape from. It's freedom earned and fiercely protected. 2. They are highly selective about who gets access. To the Sigma male, relationships are not casual exchanges. They are meaningful investments of time, energy, and emotional bandwidth. In a society that casually hands out the word friend like a business card, the Sigma treats it as a deeply personal designation. Gaining access to his inner world is not easy, and it's not meant to be. He approaches human connection with intentionality, filtering each interaction through a quiet yet rigorous internal system of trust, integrity, and alignment. Unlike those who surround themselves with large social groups out of habit or insecurity, the Sigma male deliberately keeps his circle small and exclusive. He does not seek popularity, nor is he interested in shallow or performative relationships. Before he lets someone into his space, he carefully observes them, their values, consistency, hidden agendas, and how they treat others when no one is watching. Only when someone proves themselves to be authentic, grounded, and trustworthy does he begin to lower the drawbridge to his personal world. This high level of selectivity is not arrogance. It is self-preservation. It protects him from the toxicity of gossip, the betrayal of false friends, and emotional exhaustion that comes with maintaining surface-level bonds. While many might misinterpret his minimalist social life as a lack of social skill or interest, they miss the point entirely. The Sigma male doesn't need crowds to feel validated. He thrives in the company of those rare individuals who resonate with his values, challenge his thinking, and respect his boundaries. To him, one sincere, soul-level friendship is worth infinitely more than a room full of people who only know him on the surface. His social life is not a revolving door. It's a well-guarded fortress, and entry is by invitation only. 3. They spot insincerity from a mile away. The Sigma male possesses an almost uncanny sensitivity to the hidden layers of human interaction. While many people are easily won over by flattery, charm, or overly enthusiastic gestures of friendliness, the Sigma remains wary. He doesn't mistake loud laughter or over-the-top kindness for genuine connection. In fact, the more someone tries to win him over too quickly, the more guarded he becomes. His instinct tells him that authentic relationships take time to build, and anyone trying to bypass that natural process often has an ulterior motive. Years of observation and introspection have sharpened his social radar to a fine point. He picks up on micro-expressions, tone shifts, body language, and inconsistencies in speech with surgical precision. Whether it's a fake smile hiding resentment or an overly generous compliment meant to disarm, the Sigma sees through it. He understands the subtle difference between true warmth and strategic friendliness, between authentic interest and social posturing. To him, sincerity isn't just a preference, it's a prerequisite. If someone shows even the slightest sign of manipulative intent, emotional inconsistency, or performative behavior, the Sigma doesn't hesitate to create distance, not out of spite, but as a protective reflex. He would rather walk away from potential friendship early on than allow disingenuous energy to take root in his life. This refined ability to detect hidden agendas is part of what makes him so difficult to fool, and so selective about his company. It's not that he assumes the worst in everyone. It's that he values the rare individuals who are truly transparent, grounded, and real. Only those who bring raw honesty and quiet integrity to the table will ever be allowed to sit beside him, for their mysterious vibe intimidates others. There's something about the Sigma male that quietly sets him apart, even in a crowded room. He doesn't speak just to fill silence, doesn't share every detail of his life, and certainly doesn't broadcast his emotions for the world to see. In an age where oversharing is normalized and social media thrives on visibility, the Sigma male's privacy becomes an anomaly, one that many people find unsettling. He moves through life with composed, almost enigmatic presence, revealing very little and observing much. This air of mystery is often misunderstood. Where others see distance, he simply sees discretion. Where some interpret silence as arrogance, he's actually engaging in thoughtful introspection. But because he doesn't feel the need to constantly seek approval or validation, many mistake his calm self-assurance for aloofness or judgment. His refusal to play the usual social games, posting for likes, over-explaining himself, or fishing for compliments, can make people uncomfortable, especially those who rely on external feedback to feel seen. There's an unspoken power in his restraint. The Sigma doesn't need to assert dominance or chase attention. His mere presence can shift the energy of a room. For some, this makes him magnetic. For others, it's intimidating. People don't quite know where they stand with him, and that ambiguity can provoke unease. They may feel as though they are being silently evaluated, not because the Sigma is actually judging them, but because his stillness reflects their own insecurity back at them. Ironically, the very qualities that make the Sigma male so deeply grounded, his self-reliance, his emotional composure, and his preference for depth over display, are what cause many to keep their distance. His mystery acts as both a shield and a filter, repelling shallow connections while silently attracting those who are strong enough to see beyond the surface. 5. They don't engage in small talk or superficial rituals. In a culture where casual conversation is often used as a social lubricant, the Sigma male remains noticeably out of sync with the norm. He has little interest in idle chatter, and even less tolerance for superficial rituals designed to pass the time or feign connection. Topics like celebrity drama, the latest office gossip, or repetitive pleasantries about the weather hold no appeal to him. To the Sigma, such interactions feel empty, like verbal static that distracts from more meaningful engagement. He values conversation not as a tool for filling silence, but as a gateway to deeper understanding. If he's going to speak, it's because he has something purposeful to say. Likewise, If someone chooses to speak to him, he hopes it's out of genuine interest, not social obligation. He craves depth, conversations that explore philosophy, human behavior, personal growth, ambition, and truth. A single authentic dialogue holds more weight in his mind than 100 surface-level exchanges. This communication style can sometimes make traditional social settings feel awkward or strained. Many people depend on small talk as a comfortable bridge to deeper interaction, but the Sigma often bypasses that stage entirely. He may come across as too intense or too serious in environments where light conversation is expected, yet this is not a flaw. It's simply his way of signaling sincerity. The Sigma's refusal to play the social games most people are accustomed to is both a challenge and a filter. While it might deter those seeking only light-hearted banter, it draws in those who yearn for substance over spectacle. For him, the goal isn't to be liked by everyone. It's to find those rare souls who can match him thought for thought, word for word, beneath the surface. 6. They are indifferent to public opinion. In a world where many people constantly adjust their behavior to gain approval, from dressing a certain way to censoring their words out of fear of backlash, the Sigma male stands defiantly apart. He is remarkably unmoved by public perception. Whether he is praised or criticized, celebrated or misunderstood, it makes little difference to him. His life is not a performance for others to applaud. It's a personal mission guided by his own values and convictions. This inner freedom, this unshakable independence from external validation, is one of his most defining traits. While others may feel pressure to conform, to follow trends, or to say the right thing to avoid judgment, the Sigma speaks with authenticity and acts according to his own principles. He does not concern himself with the shifting tides of opinion or the expectations of social groups. If his truth makes people uncomfortable, so be it. He'd rather be true to himself and walk alone than betray his identity to win temporary favor. To some, this disregard for public opinion might appear aloof or even arrogant, but in reality, it's the result of a deeply developed sense of self. The Sigma male knows who he is, and that inner clarity allows him to move through life without constantly seeking reassurance from others. He doesn't maintain friendships out of obligation, convenience, or fear of being alone. If there isn't mutual respect, emotional depth, and authenticity, he simply won't engage. Because of this uncompromising standard, his social circle is often minimal, sometimes verging on solitude. Yet this is not a sign of lack. It's a sign of intention. The Sigma male solitude is not empty. It is full of purpose, self-respect, and peace. He chooses quality over quantity in all things, especially in the company he keeps. 7. They experience a fundamental loneliness, despite their strong preference for solitude and independence. Sigma males are not immune to the quiet, persistent hum of loneliness that occasionally echoes through their lives. Unlike the social loneliness many people feel when they lack companionship or attention, the Sigma male's loneliness is of a different kind, more profound, more existential. It is not born from isolation, but from the deep realization that they fundamentally perceive and experience the world in ways most people don't. They often find themselves standing at a psychological and emotional distance from those around them. Their minds are wired for depth, complexity, and introspection. They don't just accept surface-level explanations. They question everything, from society's norms to the meaning of existence. They observe patterns in human behavior that others overlook. They think critically, feel deeply, and often grapple with truths that many would rather ignore. This elevated level of self-awareness and perception, while empowering, can also be incredibly isolating. This loneliness isn't desperate or attention-seeking. It's quiet and contemplative. It's the ache of walking a solitary path that few even notice exists. The Sigma male does not long to be surrounded by people just to alleviate this feeling. He would never dilute his authenticity for the sake of temporary comfort. He understands that forcing connection with those who don't truly understand him is far more exhausting than simply being alone. Instead, he accepts his solitude as a necessary trade-off for living in alignment with his true self. He knows that authentic connection is rare and cannot be rushed. Until he finds those few individuals who genuinely resonate with his wavelength, he chooses to carry that loneliness with dignity, aware that his difference, though isolating, is also the very thing that defines his strength. 8. They prioritize personal growth over social obligations. The Sigma male lives with a clear sense of purpose, and that purpose is rooted in constant self-evolution. While much of society devotes significant time and energy to maintaining broad social networks, attending gatherings, engaging in small talk, and keeping up appearances, the Sigma male walks a different path. His time is his most precious currency, and he spends it investing in his own growth. Whether it's through reading insightful books, mastering new skills, pursuing creative passions, or advancing long-term personal goals, his energy is channeled into becoming sharper, wiser, and more capable with each passing day. This intense focus on self-development doesn't stem from antisocial tendencies or a disdain for others. On the contrary, Sigma males are often thoughtful, observant, and capable of forming strong connections. But unlike those who seek interaction for validation or entertainment, the Sigma connects only when there is shared purpose or mutual value. He prefers to build relationships with people who understand the importance of growth, those who are not threatened by ambition, but fueled by it. He is not interested in obligations that exist solely out of tradition or guilt, like attending a party just to be polite or maintaining relationships that no longer serve his path. Social rituals that distract from his vision are quietly, but firmly declined. Instead, he surrounds himself with individuals who either challenge him intellectually or support his mission. Conversations that lead to insight, partnerships that spark innovation, and friendships that encourage development. These are the only connections that matter to him. Ultimately, the Sigma male measures fulfillment not by how many people applaud his journey, but by how far he's come and how much closer he is to his higher self. For him, life is not about being seen. It's about becoming. Conclusion: the Sigma's choice, not his curse. To the casual observer, the Sigma male solitary lifestyle may appear as a deficiency, a social shortcoming, or emotional gap, but nothing could be further from the truth. His lack of friends is not the result of social failure or inability to connect. It is a conscious, purposeful decision made from a place of clarity and strength. He does not isolate himself out of fear, rejection, or resentment, but rather as a way to preserve what matters most to him: his independence, his intuition, and his unwavering authenticity. In a world where people often sacrifice who they are just to be accepted, where surface-level validation is mistaken for real connection, the Sigma male takes the harder road. He walks away from crowds, not because he can't keep up, but because the destination they're headed toward doesn't interest him. He builds his life on introspection and integrity, not conformity and compromise. His solitude is not a symptom of brokenness, but a reflection of his depth, his discernment, and his refusal to settle for less than real. To those who identify with this path, let this be a reminder: your journey may be unconventional, but it is far from wrong. In fact, it is one of the rarest and most courageous roads one can take. While the world may never fully understand your quiet strength, your inner clarity, or your intense self-reliance, that doesn't make you any less complete. You are not missing out. You are simply choosing differently. And in a society obsessed with noise, performance, and popularity, your depth is not only uncommon, it is priceless. Do these ideas resonate with you? If you found yourself nodding along or reflecting deeply on the traits and experiences we explored in this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Sigma male mindset isn't often talked about openly, and your perspective, whether you identify with it personally or have encountered in others, adds valuable depth to the conversation. Drop a comment below and let me know, which part hit home the most for you? Have you seen these traits in yourself or someone you know? Your insights help build a community where authenticity and growth are prioritized over popularity and performance. If you're drawn to this kind of introspective, no-nonsense content around Sigma males, psychological strength, emotional intelligence, and high-value living, there's more waiting for you. Explore the other videos on this channel for deeper dives, actionable insights, and raw truths that cut through the noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay grounded, and stay unapologetically real. Until next time.